Wow, who would think to put these two words together in one phrase? Medical tourism. Fact is that this is a rapidly growing phenomenon throughout the global economy. Skyrocketing cost of healthcare here in the U.S. causing many Americans to look for alternative, more affordable means of healthcare. Many are turning to medical tourism. In our discussion, we'll cover several topics: benefits of medical tourism, cost comparisons, what people are saying, and also the future of medical tourism. Medical tourism may be the answer for you if you are needing a major medical procedure that you cannot afford because you have no insurance, or maybe the insurance company you have will not pay for this procedure. You may have the desire to travel abroad, but you don't have the reason to justify it. Are there countries that you have always wanted to see but wondered how you could afford to? Could you use a break from the hustle and bustle of life? These are all questions that people ask themselves. I think medical tourism might just be the answer. Wikipedia defines medical tourism as this: a term initially coined by travel agencies and the mass media to describe the rapidly growing practice of traveling across international borders to obtain health care. So you may ask yourself, why in the world would somebody travel clear across the continent to get health care? Especially when we have some of the best health care in the world right here in the United States. I think that statistic is obvious. Healthcare costs at an all-time high here in the U.S. Over 50 million people in the U.S. have no insurance to pay for it. So where do these people turn in the event they need major medical treatments like bypass heart surgery, liver transplants, hernia surgery, hip replacements, back surgery? They turn to medical tourism. So what are some of the benefits of medical tourism? Well, you can reduce your healthcare expenses by up to 80%. You have the opportunity to travel to centers of excellence throughout the world. Many of the doctors and nurses in these centers have trained in the U.S. and go back to their homeland to work in the medical facilities there. It allows people to take vacations they otherwise cannot afford. In Thailand, patients can lounge on one of the country's most beautiful beaches during their recovery. India offers resorts, spas, and pampering is their primary focus. South Africa even promotes wildlife safaris as part of its medical package. So are you tired of spending your hard-earned money on overpriced healthcare here in the U.S.? Or maybe you're afraid that future healthcare expenses might wipe out your 401k account or your IRA or your children's inheritance. One major medical procedure here in the U.S. would bankrupt most families that don't have insurance, or at minimum, they would be faced with the overwhelming responsibility of paying back a procedure that was way overpriced. So let's look at some stats. I have to admit, when I first saw these, I was completely shocked. It's staggering to see the cost difference. What makes it even more unbelievable is that most of your packages to places like Singapore and India, they include your recovery, which is in a state-of-the-art resort facility where you have amenities like a daily massage and difference between U.S. healthcare and some third world countries like Singapore and India. So let's look at a heart bypass. Heart bypass in the U.S. would cost you over $70,000. Get the same procedure done in state-of-the-art hospitals with state-of-the-art technology, mostly U.S. trained doctors and nurses for a fraction of the cost. In Singapore, just over $10,000. In India, less than $10,000. A double knee replacement in the U.S. will cost you somewhere close to $90,000. That same procedure in Singapore, just under $30,000. In India, just over $10,000. Hip replacements in the U.S., $40,000. Singapore, just over $10,000. In India, just over $5,000. So what are other people saying about medical tourism? Let's take this example from Chris Mann. She had to have bilateral knee replacements. She chose India. The cost for these 2 knee replacements in the U.S. was going to be over $90,000. With the help of World Assist, Chris was able to locate a doctor in India at a hospital in Bangalore that priced at $17,000 for both special ordered knees, including the hospital stay and a deluxe private room, and it was over a 3-week stay. And she said this: "I'd recommend checking out international options to anyone who doesn't have insurance and needs this kind of surgery." I couldn't believe how many doctors came to see me every single day, and the nursing staff was very attentive. After doing extensive research, Gene Splitter of Denver, Colorado was convinced about the quality of the overseas healthcare services offered in India. So Gene traveled to India and was successfully operated on at Artemis Hospital. And he said this: "I went from hopeless to operating room back to full life in less than 3 months. My doctors back in the U.S. are amazed at my progress." And the most amazing part of this is, in the U.S., this procedure, SPAC fusion, was going to cost him over $100 grand. Travel to India, his room, his board, his meals, his travel, everything was included in the package, and it was less than $17,000. Let's look at the future of medical tourism. With the rising cost of U.S. healthcare and the option to find comparable healthcare in other countries at fractions of the cost, it's no wonder Americans are turning to medical tourism. Already, over 400,000 Americans traveled abroad last year to take advantage of affordable healthcare. This number should increase dramatically as the U.S. healthcare system shows no signs of price reductions here in the near future. The global economy, the use of internet for research, and the use of medical travel companies, it's making it easy for people to find affordable care they need and deserve. So I'll leave you with this. Next time you have a major medical procedure that's needing to be performed, do your cost comparison. Do your research on countries like India and China, Singapore, Costa Rica, and compare that to what you're going to receive here in the U.S. I almost guarantee you that you'd be able to find it cheaper there. And not only that, but you'd be able to include a package price so you could go sit on a beach in Costa Rica and enjoy your recovery process. Take that family vacation that you've always dreamed of taking. Travel abroad to some of those countries that you thought you'd never be able to see.